Dear Minister Habeck, dear Excellencies, dear colleagues and dear friends, at the Berlin Energy Transition Dialogue, we recognize the importance of climate and energy transition and the urgency of reducing carbon emissions. We are all affected by climate change in different ways, but solutions must be found together. In this context, industry transformation has a key role to play and is one of the drivers of innovation. As a representative of industry and the global technology company Voith, I will focus on two questions. What competitive advantage can the transformation bring? And what are the expectations of industry who want to contribute to the energy transition with regard to the policy framework? From an industry perspective, we face two challenges. First, we need reliable and affordable energy in a globalized world. This is not only limited to the developed world, but it's in particular true for countries in transition. One example is the African continent, with its young and large population, vast resources, and fragile ecosystems. If countries are to overcome poverty and create jobs for a life in dignity and security, we need to invest in clean drinking water, in education, in a health system, but also in reliable energy supply. Reliable energy is the foundation of poverty reduction. And at the moment, many countries use fossil fuels because they're available and seem cheap. Second point, when it comes to environment, we need to do more and act faster. It is the role of civil society to remind us of the urgency to these issues. And it's the politics to provide a framework within which we can act as industry. But it is up to the industry to come up with innovative technical solutions for our future. What competitive advantage can this transformation bring? Climate change is the greatest challenge of our time. But equally important is the need to ensure access to energy for quality of life and economic development. Our reliance on fossil fuels must be reduced. But there is no doubt, and there will be a period of time when we will still need to rely on fossil fuels, while at the same time expanding renewable energy sources and exploring new and more environmental friendly ways to produce renewable energy. As baseload, fossil generation is stepwise phased out, and the integration of variable wind and solar needs to be managed. Countries will need to look for a reliable form of dispatchable generation that can provide baseload and balancing services. Within this clean energy transition, the only proven and reliable source of flexible electricity on a large scale is hydropower, with its storage capabilities of reservoirs and pump storage. Alternative technologies that can replace current generation techniques are not yet available in the scale required. So these techniques are expected to remain in place for short to medium. And none of this comes without cost. There is no ideal way to supply energy, but we can set and apply standards. We can create a policy framework to protect the interests of people and nature. And we can make every effort to find solutions for an environmentally sound energy policy. Climate change is therefore not only a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. opportunity for industry. Global megatrends as digitalization and decarbonization, the transition to climate neutrality are drivers for innovation. And we need to be open for different solutions with a focus on CO2 zero emissions. No single solution will meet all challenges. And this opens new opportunities. New business models are using hydrogen as energy carrier. Voith, for example, is developing a high-pressure hydrogen tank for hydrogen-powered trucks. But Voith is also active in the field of hydropower, the world's most important renewable energy source. As a proven, reliable, predictable, and competitive technology, it combines unveiled high efficiency with an extremely long, reliable service life and very low emissions. Worldwide, there are 770 million people without access to electricity. 600 million are in Africa. Currently, 128 gigawatt, 76% of the total installed power capacity in Africa is generated from fossil fuels, 18% from hydro, and only 6 from wind, and remarkably, in Sub-Sahara, only 3 gigawatt installed solar, the same as the Netherlands alone. Based on our experience in Africa, about 25% of the current installed hydropower generation or capacity is done by Voith. We know Africa has still a long way to go. Financing solutions and regulatory framework are needed to support investments in energy infrastructure and to attract independent power producers to meet the growing demand. But it's not only Africa. The International Energy Agency predicts that global energy demand will increase by 30% until 2040. The development of hydropower and other renewable energy sources creates economic value and jobs in a country. At Voith, we are convinced that access to electricity is a prerequisite for development economically, personally, and above all, the stability of societies. So, what are the expectations of industry and mid-sized companies that want to contribute? What in regard to the policy framework? Building a sustainable energy system will require a significant change from what we have today. Improving efficiency relates not only to energy issues at the consumer level, but also upstream energy efficiency in production, in generation, in transmission and distribution is needed. It is an opportunity to accelerate the shift from the traditional model of selling energy commodities to one providing energy services based on innovation. For the industry, and in particular for the Mittelstand, with its diverse products, the transition is a challenge, but also a mission. Sustainable technologies are our growth opportunity and our future. But we need a major innovation and investment offensive. We need a reliable legal framework that allows competition of ideas and innovation, that gives the industry a framework, but leaves us room for entrepreneurial action. Government support programs for sustainable investments should be efficient, targeted, and unbureaucratic, and should also provide sufficient support for small and medium-sized enterprises. Fewer burdens and less bureaucracy are needed, for example, to get quicker approval processes done. But this all is key in our quest to fight climate change and to reduce carbon emissions. Thank you.